Hello everyone. It's wonderful to see such a nice crowd here gathered to celebrate the International Women's Day. So welcome all of you. I think most of the women who are here today would agree with me when I say that we've all had an opportunity and freedom to pursue the career of your choice. But many of you would also agree that it's not the case for all the women who are in the world, at least in India. And gender skewness is one of the primary reasons why many of the women are not able to go to the top of the career ladder. And that's one of the key reasons that you need more women at the top to inspire, to motivate, and create opportunities to young leaders to move forward and grow into the top of their firm. But here at Borderless Access, we are fortunate to have many trainers who continue to inspire and lead their team to achieve business objectives on a day-to-day basis. Shah, is even here with me today. We have Ruchika, who is the CEO and founder of Borderless Access. Usha, who heads HR and administration, and we have Bela, who is finance. Please join me in welcoming them. And let's hear some thoughts from them as to what their journey has been and where they see women leaders going from here on in the next 2 years. Over to you, Ruchika. First question is to you. Times are changing and women's representation is improving in leadership positions, but it's still quite skewed at the top. So, what are the major challenges that you see in your view, and what are some of the changes that you've seen in the last couple of years?
Sure. So thank you, Ashwin, and wishing everyone at Borderless Access and the world at large and happy Women's Day. So the skew at the leadership level is not just India; it's a global phenomena. Uh, I would say traditionally women were the nurturers of the family. So over centuries, it's just been that women were looking after family while men were going out to work. And to change that phenomena, it's taking time. India is a little far behind as per global statistics also. And the primary reason where we see, at least, where the largest drop happens as far as women being in the workforce is at childcare time. So essentially, when you have a new baby coming into the family, the woman is the primary caregiver, has to be there to nurture the child, and very often women are unable to come back or are not getting the support, or they themselves may take a call of not coming back. So there is a drop even when women get married, but we've noticed that the largest drop is at childcare time, and that's really you've reached like at a mid-level in your professional career, and at that's the reason why we see a skew in leadership positions, that you have fewer leaders on the top. But I would say in the last few years, at least in the last 7 to 10 years, there's been a fair skew of more and more women coming to join the workforce. Primary reason being that all of you are very independent. You all have been educated by your family to pursue your dreams. So everyone wants to be financially independent, and therefore they have joined the organization and are also wanting to give all within themselves to prosper. So that makes a big change. Like your own personal attitude adds a lot. Globally, companies also are having mandates to include gender diversity. It's a known fact that when you have a good mix of men and women working together, it's so much better for the organization. Women are known to be having great interpersonal skills, multitasking skills. They are more emotional. They are more willing to speak out in terms of connecting with people. So all that brings a good mix to the entire team relationships. And because companies are mandating it, they're also having special programs where they're trying to reskill women who have taken a break and, asking them to come back to the organization. One more thing, COVID has also helped us a lot in terms of small and medium companies. liking the fact that okay, we can hire people to work remotely, work from home permanently, so that the workforce doesn't suffer. So earlier, small companies or medium companies did not believe that work could continue seamlessly if you were permanently working from home. But now everyone knows it can be done. So that's a great opportunity for women where due to various reasons, if they can't come back to office, they can continue to be part of the system. So these are some of the key changes that I've seen. And at BA itself, I'm really proud to say that we almost have a 60-40 kind of a gender split. So it's wonderful. And at a leadership level, we are about 25%. So the idea is even at leadership level, we should be at a 50-50. And that is what all I had to say.
Great. Thank you so much. So the next question is to you. How have you seen the numbers change in the last, say, 3 or 5 years?
Yeah.
What are we doing to necessitate its positivity right now? What are we doing to move the meeting in the right direction?
Sure, I think it's interesting to see how we've arrived at this 40%. We've grown steadily over the last 4-5 years, but the steep has been high in the last 2 years itself. Going back to what Ruchika said, the flexibilities that the organizations are offering is making us attract more and more female talent. And we're very proud to say that 25% of our leadership is women. That's very encouraging. And always Borderless Access has been known to be flexible. Right, and I think it's continued the flexibility even post pandemic. And interestingly, you should say that we've grown rapidly in the last 2 years. And earlier there was a little bit of hesitation. Let's face it, both from the organization and also from the candidate perspective, to be able to work in the night shift, especially referring to the female employees. But that scene has changed dramatically. Today, 22% of the population that works in the night shift. 22% is a female population, that works in the night shift. That is the graveyard shifts also included, which means they log in at about 7, anything between 2 to next day 4 a.m. So that's encouraging for all of us to know. I think the flexibility has always been there, even in the leadership team. If you see, we wanted to make it like a win-win situation for the women employees. There is talent available, and sometimes our talent is very niche. We do not want to let go of them, so we provide a platform so that we get most of what we want, and they're also able to contribute. So we've always created that balance. So very proud to say that we were probably the pioneers in having this remote working long before COVID as well. Not to forget what the government has already done for the women employees in terms of extending the mat leave, 3 months becoming 6 months. I'm sure some of you will be able to identify with it. It's come as a boon to us. So they're not only ready to take on take care of the baby, the newborn, but also they're ready prepping themselves to come back to workforce. They're able to build the infrastructure back home. So it's a win-win situation from all angles, I would say, Ashwin.
Yeah. Thank you, Usha. Bela, the next question is to you. You lead a typical function at Borderless Access, which is finance. This is typically a male-dominated function, I would say. And how do you see things shaping up in your side of the world, and not just BA? And how do you see yourself contributing to?
So I would say there is definitely a positive change. I started my professional journey in 2004. As per one of the research conducted on Fortune 500 companies, back then the percentage of women CFO was hardly 3 to 4%. However, if we compare it now, the percentage has increased to 18%. Future is very bright. We now see a lot more women in finance. If I talk about my team, we have almost 40% women.
Yeah, and I think it's a global phenomena, because even in our research industry, actually there is a skew of more men in senior leadership positions, and there's this organization that was started called Women in Research, WIRE. So it's basically an organization where they're actively trying to help and mentor women to continue in in the workforce and continue to grow to greater heights. So it's not only India, but even a country like US has a special program, and this WIRE program is a global program, and I believe that it's high time that some of us should join that program. They're not very active in the APAC region yet, but maybe if a few of us join, let's find out details, and then maybe we can join that program. Another thing, I feel another whole lot of startups started in the last 5 to 7 years, which essentially is about attracting women to come back because they've taken a break for whatever reason, maybe change of location or had a child or had some other issue personally which caused them to take a break, and those platforms are working with large enterprises to see what should the women be reskilled in so that companies can absorb them. So there are a lot of platforms like this now that is kind of driving that change. Yeah.
Usha, we've seen, we've spoken about what organizations are doing to bring about change.
Yeah.
Now, what can women themselves do, the young leaders of today, to grow into roles like yours?
I think the first and the foremost is that no, they must speak up, come forward and speak up. That is one thing. And the journey of a woman's professional life is a combination of the personal will, uh, taking the choices, and they're about making the journey happen. So I would say that when you take up responsibilities, you shouldn't feel guilty. You should raise your hand to solve bigger challenges, right? One should try and create the support system to be able to kind of move forward in the career journey. So as much as it is a responsibility of the organization, the onus also lies with all of us in making sure that we are creating that ecosystem within the organization and as well as outside. So these are the small little things. And also I would want to say that our leaders have been trying to kind of create that supportive work culture. I think you must also give credit to our leaders, predominantly 60% of them, people managers and the leaders, male population, who are able to create that kind of an atmosphere for females to kind of come up and speak up. And it was pretty reflective in one of the recent surveys that we conducted, the Great Place to Work survey that we conducted. I think predominantly the majority of women have come back with positive responses saying that no, they're treated very fairly, there is no discrimination, they feel that this is like a psychologically safe place to work. I think that itself is like a huge motivation for them to kind of come back, and one needs to build on them. So I would say you take the first step forward and organization is always there to support you.
Bela, you're so calm. Is it fun, change, sleep, or what keeps you going? What keeps you so strong and calm at the same time?
Okay. I would say it's a bunch of qualities. First and foremost is believe in yourself. It is very essential as it gives you a confidence to take more and more work, and also how to overcome the obstacles. Challenging work, I mean to say. Second is always keep your learning mode on. A student in you should never die. Third is big picture thinking. It's essentially zooming out and thinking at the organizational level. This is something which has helped me a lot while taking a few strategic decisions, and also aligning my action to the organizational goal. I think these are the three qualities.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thanks.
Ruchika, similar question coming to you. What keeps you going today? Do you ever feel settled as you're an entrepreneur, you're a CEO, so do you ever feel that there is a ceiling, or do you always try to figure out that we could break the ceiling somewhere and step outside and do more?
All right. I don't feel settled ever, but the fact is that having seeing my journey so far, there's a great sense of self-fulfillment, and the fact that I've achieved what I have on my own merit. So when at the end of the day, no matter whether it's good or bad, but you feel good, like you've done your individual thing where I'm not necessarily a wife or daughter or a mother. I've done something on my own merit, and in terms of goals, I feel where I am today, definitely there's a great sense of achievement, but today I may not be looking for personal laurels so much. It's more about borderless access, where can the company reach and where can the team reach. So there's a great pride, like if we win a GPTW survey, I feel, oh, something's gone right. So those are the laurels that I look for now today.
Please share your view. Alright, was that question with you?
Sure.
What makes you a strong leader today? And how has your leadership style evolved in your time?
Yeah, I think when you work in different organizations and different bosses, you naturally want to adapt. You become resilient. But personally, what has helped me is that I don't think I took criticism so seriously, right? And I also realized that you will make mistakes as you go along. It's about just trying to accept it and move on. And another thing that has helped me is also the fact that maybe showing the vulnerable side of me, being authentic, not faking it, being authentic. And when I say showing up the vulnerable side, things that my team probably is able to relate to, is able to open up and is able to kind of build bond and trust, right? It takes a lot of courage to open up on the personal front, but always try to strike the balance between what can be shared and what cannot be shared, more in the interest of how the other person feels about the whole journey, and says that, believes that no, oh, it's not always going to be perfect. We need to focus on progress. We need to not look at perfection. So if I'm able to show that, probably it's worth it. So
Well, it's your turn now.
yeah.
It's your time machine. So let's think about you going back in time to your 25-year-old self. Would you change anything about yourself?
I would say yes. One thing,
That you would make.
one thing I would like to, say what I could have changed, or what my younger self should have changed is, holding your thoughts to yourself and not picking up into the meeting or the forum. That is one thing definitely I would, if given a chance, I would have changed that. Over and above that, I think all the decisions which my younger self has made were good enough, and it has helped me reach where I am today. So yeah.
And also, in terms of support that we can offer, in terms of growth and
I think on it a bit. The fact is, have self-confidence. Feel that you can do it. You won't be able to do everything always, but have that confidence. Be willing to learn. Also, understand, in at least in India, we will have society judging you. So there will be societal pressure. Know that it will be there and decide that, okay, I'm going to kind of ignore it. There are times that it pinches you. It could be people you don't expect to judge you, but just take it in your stride. This is just one of those challenges that you have to overcome, and you continue to learn, reskill. And for the men, I think the thing is, please encourage your sisters, friends, spouse, significant others to continue to pursue a career. When I say encourage, it's not like saying, hey, if she wants to do it, she can, and I'm not going to say anything or dissuade, but I'm saying encourage in terms of actually pushing them. If you feel, sometimes all of us need that extra push from somebody saying, hey, listen, you can do it, just go ahead and don't give up. So do that whenever you find someone is there, because women find it harder, and sometimes their positive also results in this. We are more emotional creatures, so sometimes some things kind of get to us, and we need to kind of maybe need someone to push us and say, hey, I believe in you and you can do it. So that's what we would want the men to do.
so now we have questions that have come from the audience.
Don't we have some cheer from the men for what Ruchika had said?
No, I think not clapping. I want people to raise hands that are you all actively encouraging the women in your life to pursue. Yeah, good, great.
First question is to you, Ruchika. So, what's your life philosophy or mantra that has helped you sail through different and maybe sometimes difficult situations also?
That's a very loaded question. Uh, let's say, I mean, good situations is always easy to tackle. So whether in personal or professional life, if they've been challenging situations, one is once it's happened, I kind of accept it and say, okay, this has happened. Cannot say why me, why did it happen. So if it has happened, then just kind of start looking at a plan of action. Start seeing what we can work on, what can we do now rather than wondering what can happen in the future. I also have a very positive outlook. So no matter how many devil advocates come in, I will say, okay, no, if we do something, I'm sure we'll succeed. There will be a light at the end of the tunnel. And I mean, I have a lot of personal stories where, you know, we've had really challenging situations. But I feel I could go through that turmoil because of the fact that I had that belief that no, I can do it. And also use my support group. Now that could be friends, spouse, or even parents or siblings, where I kind of included them in that journey when I had to deal with that challenge. So that is some of the key things I can think of.
Bring it on. Bring it on.
After each moment of step down,
Oh
how
God.
do you tell yourself to
So obviously, I'd be lying if I said that no. Life is all very. I'm very confident. I'm gonna crack this. It's never like that. Every day is a day of self doubt. But I think what matters in the workplace is that you think of the worst that can happen, right? And if you believe that the feeling is stronger, go back to stakeholders, talk to them, and say that no, this is what I'm feeling. This is the impact I can create, but I still have some doubts. So just make them your partners. And if there is something that's constructively come and take in that, so that no, it kind of improves your confidence overall. But end of the day, certain things work, certain things don't work, so you just have to go. Because if I look at the other side of not taking an action because of the self doubt, I think it's I'm doing a great injustice to my role, right? It's better to try and fail rather than not trying itself. So that should keep me going. So that's what I would say. But huge, I would probably pick up the phone or walk into somebody's office and speak to them, and feel less judged about the fact that I'm coming and approaching them for some solutions, just to validate my thought process, especially in the workspace. So I think that's how it's worked so far.
well, action? I think I think kind of keep your profile very your top of so clear. So the question says, how do you manage your work-life balance? And could you please share some tips as to how you manage the career and personal life in successful?
To be very frank, yeah, it is little difficult, sometimes to manage both the things. But few of the tips I can, share with you guys. First is plan your day, plan your week, plan your month. Second, prioritize. Third, prepare wherever it is possible. Start preparing a schedule. Fourth, yeah, learn to say no, because everything you cannot do by yourself. Give responsibility. Share your responsibilities. Delegate. I think these are the things which I would like to share.
All of you, who has been your biggest cheerleader?
I'm going to go first. I think in the current space, it's my daughter, my spouse, and my extended family, without a doubt. Because every time there has been a dull moment, I think it's my daughter who cheers me up and says that no, you can do it. In fact, she had some things to say about Women's Day as well. So I think I have a lot of cheerleaders in the form of my husband and my daughter.
Yeah, I'm just thinking in terms of journey, looks very similar to Usha's answer. But let's say, like where I am today, my parents have a great role to play. So my mom was a homemaker and my dad was a professional. And I have a younger brother. So I think throughout my childhood, I never felt that difference between being a girl and a boy. And both my parents were very clear that I should be financially independent. And probably I was also, as my brother, sorry, and my son called me, I was kind of a little bit of a nerd because I was very good at academics. And that was very clear for me. And I feel, at least in the way I was brought up, marriage was not my parents' end goal for me, and so that was a strong point in the first 2 decades of my life. And then I met my spouse who at college, and we've literally grown up. I mean, I've spent the maximum time of my life now with him, and he's always been very encouraging, very supportive. I think we both have taken career choices to support one another. There was a time when we got married. He was in another city, and I was in Bangalore. But I had started working earlier, so we decided, okay, it's better for me to quit my job because it's a little difficult for him to quit. But we were very clear we are going to move out of the city, so I found another job. I moved to that city, and then after a few months, he followed me. So, in that sense, I think we both encouraged each other. He's been a big cheerleader and also the person who pushes, right? I mean, if I say, okay, I'm done now, I'm not going to do any more, he'll have 10 things that I can do more for borderless access. And I would like to also mention his parents. They are far more from a traditional background, more conservative, but they don't have that many women working in their family, but they've always supported me. I mean, they were very clear. If our son believes so much in her, not once was I told that, how come you're not looking after your family or your son or something like that. So I would say parents and my spouse. My son, in any case, would just love to uh, enjoy the luxuries of life on my hard work. So right now he's too young to understand, and I've told him all this money is not going to you until you do something with your life.
What about you, Bela?
In my case, Ashwin, I would say that my daughter, my spouse, and my parents, both the sides, they have played a very important role in pushing me and getting me, where I am today.
Great. We'll open up the questions to the floor. Still, that you would like to ask the panel. You want to know something? Anybody?
So my question is, what BA can do to drive this gender equality at a nation level or at a broader level?
So I can answer that from talent, attracting talent. Truth be told, I think during pandemic we've tried to kind of attract different kinds of talent. Whether it was somebody who could work part time, somebody who had specialization in something, but given the nicheness of our work, that did not materialize. So I would just say that maybe we'll put little more effort in trying to make sure that we run programs like Ruchika was touching upon earlier in some corporates like IT and other services organizations. We'll try to put some effort and see how we can tap into the women folk. One, to increase the diversity in the on the floor, because that has its advantages for sure. Two, also try to enhance or improve the leadership representation in the organization. Like Ruchika said, we want to make it 50%, we want to make it 100%. So we have to sort of invest in the second rung. So as we speak, actually, we are also evaluating on some external development programs for women, so that they kind of get trained and come up to speed. So that they can support the leadership. But yeah, as we roll into the new year, those are some of the things that we are thinking. But yeah, to answer your question, I think we have to put some more effort in trying to cater to attract talent that suits our needs.
But you were talking nation level is really large. So I think we are starting with a company. What I can think of is maybe we can do for Bangalore,
Yeah.
if possible, tie up with some other companies where they also have a strong drive on this purpose. So if we can tie up with 10 or 20 companies, start a informal organization where we can probably speak, mentor. I also noticed that internationally the leaders actually have mentor groups. So like if we are leadership, under each of us there are about 5 or 8 ladies who can reach out to us, ask us guidance, whether personal or professional, just someone to talk to who's been through this journey. So those are some programs one can start. Maybe that's first at borderless access level. And another thing is, it's not only gender equality. I fully believe we have gender equality in borderless access. We've never hired anyone because of their gender. There's no difference in the compensation level. It's now called gender equity, which essentially means that you do realize that maybe women need some customized benefits because of the fact that yes, they are the ones who will, you know, have children. They have to be with the child for the first 1 year or 6 months or however it is. And India's creche facilities and baby care facilities are developing now. So now at least you have some of those options. But like, you know, some benefits like that is what we are looking at, that can we kind of help in providing some creche facilities where we can take over some part of the cost and, you know, help young couples who want to get back to work, you know, to utilize that. So these are some things one can considering.
And if BA does this, probably other organizations do it, and that's when we help the nation thrive. It's a long, tall order, but
and I will use our Center of Marketing Excellence to, you know, all of you who are here, then we kind of promote this on social media and
inspire
maybe,
others. Yeah.
inspire and create that informal you know, organization, so as to speak, ask others to join us in this endeavor.
That one life lesson that you learned when you started or till your journey in borderless access? What is that one life lesson that you learned the very hard way? Through a story.
Life lessons. And professionally.
Personally or something.
I'm actually feeling I've never had such a hard. No, seriously. I mean, this entire journey. I mean, because I've always had a team. I mean, Dushyant's been with me in this journey throughout, at least for Borderless Access, and our team members who were there. I think we all just work together. So, in terms of life lesson, yes, we may have burnt our fingers in terms of investing money in a particular category or a particular service, and then we did not succeed, and, you know, it failed. So those are kind of things that we had. But perhaps one thing is that in the initial year, we would try and do anything and everything to please a client, and because, you know, you're starting off, you want to kind of get business, make a name for yourself. But today, if a client is being unreasonable or being I would say almost, you know, kind of ridiculing us or not respecting us, I have told team members that we can walk away from the business. It's fine. I mean, we, you know, because we know we are putting our best foot forward, so we will not kind of deal with that kind of aggressive clients. But I've had a good set of people to work with. Never felt that I've had such a hard time.
Alright, I think with that we wrap up this forum. Thank you all for joining us. Happy International Women's Day to all of you.
Thank you. And thank you, Ashwin, for coordinating this.
No problem.
What about you? Actually, you never mentioned your team.
Yeah.
Is the largest, and you have a fair number of you know, women. Fair number of women
Across age groups.
Yeah. So how do you feel it has changed from the time you took over the original team to now?
You're not prepared for this session.
It's okay, but
Time to turn tables.
yeah, I know.
Can I take a moment to think?
Yes. No pressure.
No pressure. Till then, you can just do an audience camera view.
I know the audience very well. I think a lot of them are, you know, fairly new, and, you know, they've all joined this. You know, many of them they've been here for probably less than a year, and there are some who've been here for more than some time. But I think when I joined, when I, you know, started managing the team, I think there were a few members who were actually who actually took the work pressure off of me, because the role was new to me. I think you all are aware that when I come from a product management background, and this MR industry as well as the ops role was relatively new, so I had to learn the ropes. So there were women leaders, in that team who actually took charge of that entire operation and let me, get into the group. So they taught me in the beginning, and so that was the key. And I learned from all of them. Even now, there is the Shamali standing all over there. There is Preeti here. There is Manami here. I'm learning from them every day because they bring in great knowledge. So we created, Dushan says the Center of Marketing Excellence is my idea, but honestly it is not my idea. I just created a flowchart. Only the video is my idea. These ladies who are actually building that platform and taking it forward.
So how do you see the ladies, how has it changed in terms of work management and culture?
So in terms of work management, I would say they're very methodical, process oriented. I think you have seen some of their work. And the rigor is there, and there is a method to. I don't want to use the word madness, but there is a very, there is a structure to the madness. And when it basically pushes me. So to make sure that I align myself to ensure that their output is, I actually get in touch with my own self to make sure I deliver as per the expectations that they set.
So essentially they are helping you to reach your goals faster and better. Okay.
So they are raising the bar for me to meet. So let me put it that.
Thanks, Ashwin.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ashwin. Thank you all.
Appreciate Borderless Access representation of women in business. I proudly can say we are led by a woman CEO. 40% of our crowd are female and 25% of our leadership team is also female. So HR, finance, business is all led by a female people, which is a big step towards women empowerment.
Coming to diversity, so we must always be open to everyone's perspectives. It's not about about the gender or anything, so it's about equality, and we must not think about the gender, so we must take each one's perspective into consideration. Diversity in the sense, in terms of not only in the organization, in terms of society, so we must treat women equally.
I aspire to become a successful leader in the C-suite. In order to accomplish that, I am always driven to take new challenging projects and upskill my knowledge and make a positive impact on the organization. And Borderless Access has been a catalyst in this journey.
What motivates me to come to work each day is I love my job. I'm very passionate about it. And it comes up with it gives new challenges every day, and we love facing those challenges, coming up with unique solutions. And there is a great team. We support each other, and we strive to be excellent in everything that we do, and that is why I love to come to work every day.
Borderless Access has enabled me to develop my professional skills and reach my goals by providing me with a global platform to collaborate with professionals from diverse backgrounds, cultures and location. And it has enabled me to build a robust network of industry leaders, potential employers, and develop my professional skills by providing me various online courses and certifications. Finally, it has enabled me to build my professional brand through their innovative marketing and promotional activities. All in all,
Sudha Murthy ma'am is someone whom I look up to and admire. Not only she is an inspirational entrepreneur, she is also a very prolific writer. She is someone who promotes intellectualism in society through her encouragement of reading and churning of her ideas. She is a public intellectual from whom we have so many things to learn from and apply in our own lives.